Unity Broadcasting.
Unity Broadcasting Television don't come for unify, sensitize, and inform Salon people home and abroad. Broadcasting TV don't come.
For developments now we country TV.
Unify, sensitize, and inform we all.
For developments now we nation salon.
Unity Broadcasting TV don't come.
For developments now we country TV.
Unify, sensitize, and inform we all.
For developments now we nation salon.
We now independent media house. We dey here for unify, sensitize, and inform. Sierra Leoneans home and abroad.
We dey here so for talk, but wetin dey happen? Political discussion.
You for know what's salon politics.
Religious messages, entertainment self no go left again.
We no go left nothing again, no.
TV don't come.
For developments now we country TV.
Unify, sensitize, and inform we all.
For developments now we nation salon.
Unity Broadcasting TV don't come.
For developments now we country TV.
Unify, sensitize, and inform we all.
For developments now we nation salon.
The salon people they wanna kushe, wanna kaba, wanna do. Me na Chief Commissioner Vandy, and this na the Monolog program with Unity Broadcasting today Wednesday. Of course, we will always be part of Unity program. For no now say we stand for the truth and we not sugarcoat anything. We believe in Sierra Leone and we believe in the people of Sierra Leone. So whatever program we do now in the best interest of the country and we're ready for promote salon to the highest. So if you there and you want to really get the truth about the happenings in Sierra Leone, share this program far and wide, be a blessing to others, invite people, encourage people, talk to the people, say the Monolog program they on with Chief Commissioner Vandy on Unity Broadcasting. And inside today's program, we talk about rule of law in the country, the judiciary and the examples, the precedent for teach people lesson about, law and order in our country. We they talk about the election. One thing we want to make very clear now that even though we are sure of the president's victory, but we don't want to forget repetition of what happened, to 2018 when we get this kind of hurdles. Where would they get in a parliament? So we want a parliament who is very supportive in the next election. Won't forget parliament who go aid and facilitate the president's vision. And so if we don't begin for be very negligent in our duties, it will be very tough. Even when the president go win and able to get the parliament, development will be very slow. And causes of that we not want to encourage. While let the president triumph with the parliament by side, but with what we don't begin see, we don't see so much of carelessness on the side of the foot soldiers where president assemble around her. And so we're talking about that. We talk about the global issue, this hardship. I know my professor handled down there very well yesterday, but we talk about it though. We want to tell people when it comes to the global market, salon not get control. And when they see the enemies of the country, always they propagate the wrong, they mislead people. Even when they know the reality, but because they're very treacherous and evil, they always believe say they for come and poison the mind of Sierra Leoneans against the authority of their government. So we talk about that. We also talk about the new note. We get a few more days for a transition to the new currency. So we briefly talk about that. And so stay tuned. Along the path, many other things will rise up, and be assured that you're not going to be disappointed listening to this program, because we're speaking to the power that be, and we want to tell, Salon people that every one of us get an obligation, we get a responsibility, we get duty. All the time we talk about right, we talk about right, but right now they go without duty and responsibility. Now they go without obligation. So stay tuned, stay connected, invite more people, be part of this program. All right. So let's begin with the most topical issue right now. We don't see by-elections conducted in the country because of vacancies created, either loss of somebody or because of a transition from one position to another. Like in the case of the parliamentary election, we see the former parliamentarian, when I be an SPP, decide for be a paramount chief. He decide for move on for be a paramount chief, and that creates a vacuum. Generally, may I say that putting the result all together, generally in the country, if it were a presidential election, the SPP was victorious. Okay, because when you check the numbers, the figures, accumulatively, SPP now a victor, they win. But what is disappointing is that one, it was expected that somebody who has been there be supposed, like it just like where I done at this host, I know the host very well. If I had left the host, I for left the host in a capable hand of somebody where I don't observe from this and where I know say it will be my best representative. Now, let's look at the different results then. And this will lead me for talk to the president. After I don't analyze the results them, the talk a little about the different outcome then I get a message for the president. As leader of the SLPP, he get a very major role for play, get an obligation, because there's something booming around. You don't want to let it explode, you don't want to let it cause problem as a leader. You don't want to forget hurdles and challenges in upcoming election in 2023. If we not address the situation there, it go definitely boom around and it go explode and it go difficult for handle at the end of the day. So I will be talking to the president thereafter. But now let's look at the results in Kenema. Of course, it was not a doubt. It was not surprising, definitely, that the SLPP was going to win. All right. Of course, it's a concern that with all the threat on the Southeasterners, APC pulled some numbers. But my question is, why are people complacent and comfortable that they encourage people who regularly they on your throat, they on your head, they even challenge you, say, when you empower, we will go after you. What is the message we take to people for enlighten and educate them about the reality? Somebody will tell you that, Kenema, some kind of mixed setting, you get a lot of migration, you get mixed setup. Agreed. But as well, if the SLPP people really engage them people and let the people know now that part of the country, say, you play with a time bomb, we go explode and it go, it go really cause mayhem, it go cause disaster for una. I think say we people go understand. But I know why what did happen, there's too much self rising within the SNPP right now. Everybody just want for rise up to position. Everybody wants self-recognition. And because of some growing indifferences right now, so many people are keeping back, and refusing. Somebody tell me, say, waiting with this in a Kerema, na expression of dissatisfaction with certain authorities. We not go down well. And the authorities in Kenema, the people of Kenema, and the south and the east and the rest of the country will be expected after the convention. We for don't put aside every other thing and work cohesively. With that kind of division, let me tell you now, like I be say, the president will win the election. But the problem will be for those of una we want for be parliamentarians. Una we want for rise up to certain position. If you not join hand with the president and be very supportive, you will end up for be the loser. Okay? If una think say keeping her back and falling on our hands there and feet them go be a plus to una they make the biggest mistake. Una when our stakeholders them, especially the ministers, that will be very realistic. How long we go continue for call on them people here where they around the president for be very radical and aggressive in propagating and pursuing the president a message to the least person? How much they make the common people understand the reality na the ground? How much effective they really engage the community people? How much? For me, in fact, the one way even decide say the paramount chief being a member of parliament at this crucial time for don't allow for them to get by election. That was a wrong calculation. Looking at how the election was keenly contested in 2018, I think one of the major reasons we lost the election Samaya Bendugu. Now the fact that one, there was not proper vetting for really get the people choice. And we see what can happen. After the election, people will for continue forget the people connected to the power. Give so much of a distance. Election is not won on the very day, not the fatting the pig on the market day. We believe say people for don't go into the people one on one, continuous engagement for the help. But unfortunately, as crucial as it may be, you create a vacuum, for cause so much. Let me tell anybody where they look at me, election of any kind get your own impact where they create. All right? So if you don't handle it well, it will militate against you tomorrow. Even when the people of Samaya Bendugu know say this honorable appointed will bring them nothing. Because at the end of the day, if I just go sit on a parliament, how many of all the opposition for the past years will not tell me what they don't do where will be an alternative to this government, where they don't do, way better off than what the government they do. Let any of the honorable in parliament when an opposition or even in the ruling, let it just come with them, let it put out the policies of development where they don't do now their areas, their constituencies. I always say, imagine For let we see the signal that we refuse for handler from the onset is appalling and is disappointing. The Samaya Bendugu election was not properly coordinated. And because it was not properly coordinated, that is why you got the outcome. There was no proper preparation, with the indigenous. They win election with outsiders. You win election with indigenous people waiting at the ground. And if you fail to identify the crowd pushers, people that were able to move crowd, were able to galvanize, you bring them on board. The dying minute you go, you will not get them, you will not win, you will not get what you want. Okay? And Mr. President, most of the indifferences where they happen within the party, everybody they look up to you. And it is believed that your silence of addressing the issue they are the cause people disappointed and feel people left up. When someone feels say, oh, I'm not considered, and so because I'm not considered, I go sit down in full land, it's dangerous. I think you ought to get a time for address you people. Talk to the people, Mr. President. As leader of the party, we believe say at this time, leading to the election, for be constant engagement. If they're on top of the game and know what they go on. Ask the people assigned, waiting at the job, waiting at the do. Every district, every region get executive, waiting at the structure, waiting at the activity, waiting at the program, waiting at the engagement. How did they come along with the people? Talk to the people, break this barrier, in between. Address the issue of indifferences. Let everybody feel comfortable and feel belong. Talk to people. When a leader speaks, it changes a lot of things. But when you remain silent and you refuse for talk, you widen the gap of division. Because there's this belief that, we voice not they go no side. And so why I go talk? But when you go, you engage the people, you talk to them, that the motto says one country, one people. And if now one country, one people, nobody not for feel superior. Okay? Everybody for be on board, everybody for be encouraged. There's not enough for make somebody feel marginalized or pushed aside. Everybody they look up to you as the leader of the party. You have to be very sharp for address the indifferences where they grow up. Of course, I believe that the victory in Kamalu na a plus, but I also think that there's so much for do, There's so much. And to be honest, there has been so much spent to the north. We don't give so much to the north and the northwest. Nobody will tell me that these people are marginalized or no government what they do. There's so much development to a point that Southeasterners are even jealous of most of the development where they go now the north and the northwest. They'll call you. But all waiting this, waiting at the outcome, waiting they happen. Of course, they deserve national benefits. Okay, me not there against supporting the northerners, but let there be a reflection by how the people they appreciate what they do for them, what the government they do. Then kind of result there where they come on. They tell you if the people appreciate what they do or not. Because now hand go, hand come. If so much is given to the people, So much is expected, even with the Bible. In the Bible, we saw the 10 lepers where Jesus go, man. Now one can't tell thank you, and Jesus asked where the other 9, where the 9 way. Let's say get the same blessing. Have you asked yourself, Mr. President, why are you getting such a feedback in such an election? With all the effort in spreading national development across. You know, the thinkers and the strategic people, therefore we strategize the method of approach, and they therefore think otherwise. Say, this method where they take, so not they help the system and it will affect the system dearly. So they therefore take a check. They really therefore take a check. All right. So I just want to tell the president, get time, address your party people, talk to the people, talk to, you know, the main people where now then they down there 24 hours, they propagate, they sacrifice. So I want everyone to look at that and assess the strategy. Look at the approaches to issues. It's not reflective of, you know, waiting outside that they look for. So much is done all about the country. And so by this time, leading to general election, if we begin to see, you know, the response, the reaction, you know, for able to know based on then waiting they happen, so how much waiting they do, the effort for make sure that the whole country benefit from national development, how it's deeply appreciated. But I must tell you, the one that are around you, majority of them, too complacent. In fact, they feel too superior for even go down there. Few of them are doing very well. Few are always sacrificing and going down there. But I must tell you, some of you soldier them, the one the way you think, say, for able to make things work for you easier, and then they make them very tough and difficult. So if you not talk to them and talk to them very tough and make them understand that they're not there under for comfort and there for fulfill, for make sure say the agenda is well understood and well interpreted, it will be tough for you, Mr. President. So, Mr. Long people, it is a moment of reflection and also a moment of assessment. You know, that election that gives the chance, you know, for let one able for, you know, assess and analyze. So that is my own opinion on the outcome of the election. I think, say, the officials, there are people where they make, you know, others feel aggrieved, and we get for stop that. That if there's anybody where still promotes division, hate, marginalization, such person will be called out and it will be addressed, and for, you know, there should be a stop. You know, a friend of mine tell me, say, a lot of the people and we diaspora no, they live in a diaspora where they are appointed into this dispensation. Because of the long disconnect, they find it very difficult for even reach out, for live the common life, for be open up. And so such people, they always feel superior because they think, say, they be don't live out of the country for long, and so they be don't rise, so nothing, they're not for be as common, you know, and be open up to people. There's so much of bureaucracy around them. And that is a very wrong mentality. You know. So that is the first thing. The next thing is to every Sierra Leoneans way, every bit will they take and blame government. First, may I say this? Where God be they create the world, intention for man was nothing about suffering, but man caused suffering on himself. Okay? In Genesis, that one day when a scholar, when Christians, or even in the Quran, because man fell short of the glory of God, because we cause sin, God tell we say, before anybody eat, you go eat out of your sweat. You man, he say, man go eat out of your sweat, meaning until the world done, you don't get for be comfortable. For let anybody eat, you get for sweat for her. It is no matter the government you bring, God the word not they fail. Okay? No matter you bring angels, God we don't talk say, for let anybody survive, you must sweat for her. But waiting in a salon, a laziness plenty in a salon. Some man feel say enough for suffer. And this is something where God will not make very clear. And God the word not they return to them void. He said, for let you survive, for let you eat, you must sweat for her. And for let we survive as a nation, people will be careful, be hard working. This laziness in our country, they cause so much grumble. Some man believe say, we do clean, other person for go sweat and can't put on a table. Some man don't even get the idea, say, if we be innovative or think. I always say, you will go to college and camp, they will run after job. And then you not learn nothing. When you sabi what you sabi in a job, they run after you. Plenty of the people that we admire in the world today, not even go university, but because of their brain, because they're thinking, they thought of how to shape their own life. When they see the youth, them where they create job now, they but 24 hours, then they for idleness, then they be a politician, then they allow them for be used. Instead of being engaged, they prefer the easy way out for go ask for help all the time. How you they feel all the time you they beg? They think about your human personality. American Ayao, everywhere in the world, successful people are hardworking people. Anybody who is successful now, somebody who give in time, somebody who determined for make himself. We do clean, not a late in a bed. We do before you go to bed, you already they focus on waiting if they grab with in the morning, waiting for do. This too much of blame game and blaming everything on government. You ask somebody, why they blame government for everything? Hey, now, but how on earth you get the opportunity? Now you know what you go through. Now you know what's best for you. You want to let somebody else can run your life. Imagine God give everybody the equal chance. I'll always say, one of the most embarrassing thing away people ever compare themselves to one another. Look at your 5 fingers. God give you with 5 fingers. For be clear example, where do clean, check your finger. Nobody is the same. And not try for be somebody. Okay? Appreciate your level and work on your level to another stage. And this is why people even corrupt in places, because when they give them for go do something, instead of paying attention for do the job, then they can't look, hey, what to make this person able to make her open at this job. If this person able to make her, why not for no? So instead of paying attention to the job, they can't look at how that man became gentry overnight. So he said one for be gentry, he want for get rich overnight. So if they engage on illegality, if they can't do something where it's unlawful. This comparison, where would they make? And God give you the 5 fingers for telling you, say, nobody is equal. You cannot be equal with the next person. You either pass somebody or somebody pass you. That is the fact. You either they're above somebody or somebody they're above you. Today, American life not yesterday what you be dey buy $2. Today if you gonna shop them for go buy, it's above $4, $5. Okay, but you know they see Americans all the time they grumble. What do everybody they go about the phenom? Eh? I will assume if everybody was innovative, some people were very creative. Say, okay, you know what? Me your ability now for make bench, for make a leave. So I'm not dey wait for let somebody come and make for me the bench. Or me your ability now for go na farm. But one thing first, this policy of everybody wanting to work in offices. Even when you not qualify, you want for tie your neck for sit down under AC. You want for sit down, we say you're not competent for seat. And so because of that, they blame me, they attack. Oh, this is unfortunate thing. So it's really unfortunate that global issue with a politicizer. People understand, say, the petrol business, now the world business. Salon not they make oil, Salon not they produce petrol, we not they produce diesel. Now buy will they go buy. Okay. And if you don't go buy side where they sell there, and then you feel say somebody go spend money for buy something there and then you can't sell and cheap. Because the aim of every business now for make profit. The risk involved for go buy something, travel with and take water, reach with them. There's so much risk. So when somebody come with I get for make something for survive. The fear yesterday when I be $3.50 today is $5, close to $6 in America. It's look at the last time. England of all. I listen the former president, the Prime Minister of England, they talk. He said, think for even talk for England. He said more difficulties get for them in England because of this fear and the war way they go on. People will live there, understand how difficult it is, but they can't lie past Salon people. The other thing we're very discouraging is that Salon people they always will do clean. They want listen whether they can manipulate and mess their brain and tell them, say, not take this. This not so. They don't allow your brain for be regulated by misguided individuals on social media. When they listen some man, they tell you, some man this alone, he won't tell me about America with me day. Hey, wait, America say wait they means I be pass you wait they me there. They won't tell me. Even the country where you this alone, you don't get time for even know what they happen. In fact, one thing where they see common, the best place for Salon people then we do clean on social media. One for know what they happen on social media. So they don't even get time for listen what they happen at the community, for know what they happen. You ask a man what happen today, now use area. They tell you nothing. What they tell you now, what they happen Somalia, what they happen in other countries. They not get you ask them, okay, you they tell me about what in your own area. Tell me one single thing we happy, they tell you because you not get time for that. You don't know. So we got to be very serious as a country. God give you a talent. You know the story of the talent? God give everybody the ability. If you don't make use of your own chance, at the end of the day, now you losses. You keep blaming people. Anybody where they fail in life, now always they blame people for your own downfall. On progressive people go always cast blame because they don't want for face them. They don't want for take upon themselves for be productive. The Bible not tell we say you go eat out of next man's sweat. It say out of your sweat means say you get for work for what you did. If you want for live in comfort, you get for work for her. You get for give you all. Whether the people that say job not they know. It's very wrong for let anybody tell you it's a job not there. From creation, job plenty everywhere. Now, how you figure out the job where you want for do, now the challenge. But for say work there everywhere plenty. But you know, if you don't go to college or you don't go school, you don't learn something. Eh? You don't learn for be say you're not specialist in agriculture. Then you come, you refuse for go and make farm. They say job not the government. I wonder if you don't learn for be a mercenary, then if you for go and do something for begin something. It's this is another thing about salon people. We not let for start. Because we not say everything where they start, everything we get where they begin get challenges. So because we don't want for start, we want always finish product. So we always remain for be idle and hang on people, put blame people. Somebody don't want for go start from the scratch. You always want to hang on others feather. And when you hang past somebody in feather, now that person they control you. Today you say they move, they move. So that is it. Now, we always talking on this platform say the biggest challenge the guy now the country they face now in discipline and lawlessness. People feel say we for continue for the under that buff case. You do something, nothing not they come up out of her. Fortunately, we don't begin to see brighter example. The sentencings of these hooligans, that people will go flout others' right. Because they think say they get right, they go abuse the next man's right. We don't see how the judiciary don't begin set a precedent where we don't call for all this time. In discipline, lawless people not supposed to see their life, therefore they're not place for be reformed. And so all the one that will be involved in the lawless and public disorder, we come to LAJ in business, the decision for sentence them, for be reformed, for put them a place of reform, for be reshaped and realize it, lawlessness not the pay. Now, a very welcoming idea. And this is one thing we for appreciate. When there's law and order, when there's come in the country, you self as individual, you go able work, you go able make your life better. But any say we could scarce day, where trouble day, you not go able live peaceably. You go come out, your heart hang, you don't know what thing go before you. Somebody go look you, he just abuse your right, he just step on you, he just do something to you, he harm you for nothing. Because he thinks say law and order not there. But when there's law and order, you will come out peaceably and go and fend them and come home back with peace. So we're all for support, for clamp down on the lawless people within our society. Anybody will think say for be subjected to the dictator of the law of we land, not forget freedom. If you find yourself in some tight corner and allow yourself to be shaped. Now, the reason why they take you to the correctional center then for go and refine you and get you, modified so that you go fit in within society. You go know how to live. And another good thing is that the timeliness of this trial. And that is why we want the judiciary. This delay in justice, no, they help. If I will matter, they will expedite the process. If somebody is innocent, free, but this dilly-dally about cases in court against the cause a lot of misunderstanding. And this there's so much blame on the judiciary, when it comes to matter the way they before them. That is why the accusation of the judiciary being corrupt is always on the rise. The belief, the perception that the judiciary is corrupt is because of the delay in trials. But if we expedite the process, people then come, you try them. If you wrong, you wrong. If you right, you right. You know, and that is why we, people are going very, 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 very impatient with the appeal matters of the outcome of the COI, because there's so much delay in that. The public want for know what did they happen. We then corrupt people the way COI being died. That if man, what did they become of them? So the judiciary get for continue for double up. Now there's so much reform. There's so much way they don't do way worth commending. They don't try, but there's still more to do, especially in the area of trial. We don't see so much reform. We don't see the openness of the judiciary now. We don't see how accountable they don't become to the public. They now bring the public along, every process. That is fine. But this major area of delay in matters, they say justice delayed, justice denied. So we got to be very careful that the good work what they do not be messed up with some wrong again what they do. Work on this issue of expediting matters as they come. You look into them, no matter what the case is. Therefore, give time to cases and address them, because every day things happen. Every day there's matter, there's problem. So don't allow for accumulate things where go overwhelm the court. Because if they delay now, so other matters they come up, But as they come when they address them, when they, now I really appreciate the venture the Chief Justice be do the last time together with the government for do a cleanup, for do a whole week of matter and case assessment. All the people that will be unlawfully detained, they free them all. They free all the one that will be dinner cell will not be supposed for dinner cell. They free them. Matters will not be they get attention. They make sure say they assign their matter and they for quick trial. That was a very good step. I think we need for the do and clean up the judiciary system. Continue for work very hard on the image. Continue for address so much of them problem there. So I really want for appreciate the judiciary, but wanna double up. Wanna be very firm, This issue of allowing people for go free for the wrong because of influence not go help. If somebody is wrong, no matter the position, the status, when they come before the law, let the law treat them equally like any other person. Let the law not look at somebody, and treat them separately because of who that him be. No. When there's matter before the judge or the magistrate, treat the matter with your conscience and in the best interest of the country. So I say kudos for the examples of making people realize that room not there for indiscipline and public disorder or indiscipline. Be salon people there. Friday where they come, when they begin the transition of the use of the new money. What it worrisome now the education and the sensitization of the use of this money. And this is why we at this platform they emphasize all the time about communication. If you don't communicate and engage people for understand things, they will always go with the wrong mentality and the wrong idea and the wrong understanding. And the wrong thing will happen at the end it will result to, addressing situation. Instead of preventing, it will end up for be solving problem. You go find yourself in solving problem. Instead of the problem way for not prevent, it will lead you to a point of solving a problem. So, Salon people then, therefore understand the money in various values and the use. Also, it is time for let the government put security measures in place for people who go on for can fraud the system, we go can flood the market with fake money and ready for fraud the system. For flood, dana for put into circulation huge amount of fake money. That is for flood the market with fake. But for fraud, now for criminalize the people, for thief people there. So with security, therefore, be very, 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 very active and alert for handle, for sharply respond to the criminal people and the people who don't think ahead of the system. We want to beat the system. Remember, you're doing this for the people. And so let people not be disadvantaged. Some man don't spend years for Fanny, Lily, and Natty. Let somebody not can get rich over them overnight. Let there be proper public sensitization on this currency. And let there be measures for prevent the circulation of fake money. I always a talker. Until Salon gets a very effective, mechanism as how for get information from the ground. This news gathering, intelligence gathering. There is we not get the intelligent aspect of with security. That's one thing where the government get for be very, 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 very serious about. Intelligent gathering for it go help the government for prevent you from this reaction. Because what they see now more of reaction to things. When they allow let things happen, then we can for react to that. Preventive mechanism now it will not work towards our country. And this guy for be very very much considered. The preventive mechanism go help for handle people when are criminal them. People that when just want for see problem for the country. America get FBI and CIA. Why? Because they believe in intelligent gathering. When you did on top of you for sure say you did on top of situation, you intelligent gathering therefore be very strong. So this money here where would they put into circulation? That will make sure say not turn for hot with people there. And not turn for cause problem for with people there. Let the education be very much intensified and let the people be really, really engaged and taught on the use of this money. Let them understand the various notes there. We don't want to forget, conflict because of this money. Of course, I know say the coming of this money, they expose people that way we don't loot with resources, where we don't sit down with wealth. People where we don't take with money and make a materials for the dumper. And they can't clean up a whole lot of mess where we don't happen in the economy. There are people where be they hoard money, where be they take money, they keep on at their host there, and they can't turn against them. So it is good that we introduce and when they come to this new currency for address a whole lot of things. But let we approach them with cautiousness and be aware that people that are bent and set for ready for mess up the whole process and make them very difficult. Anti-corruption for they on their feet. Anti-corruption for spread now. Therefore, be ready for work alongside. For save with people there. From that thief man, the way you don't where they on your easy way of life now for just thief people there. So I don't go want me mama way in a village and that way, all this time, what you don't use to now then even them big notes then they get for interpret. Let somebody begin victimize. I will send money for instead of receiving the actual, they know somebody use that for rip them of what he forget. So do ya, Papa government, put the security measures in place and safeguard with people from being robbed of the bona fide and then the hard-won labor. Finally, I want to talk to we within a media. We were all already talking about media. If you think your service in the media, either positive or negative, they do them against people, I want to let you know, say they do them against you very self. Whatever you do in media, positive or negative, it will haunt you yearly after. Because this desperation of people every day for achieve them, motive them, especially the evil people them, were determined not for stop at anything for afflict with country, for cause problem and calamity and division. Every day they're ready for come with fake thing them, wrong thing them. They're so determined for bring with country down. I want to let you understand that. What do you do today? Go meet you back on your breakfast table. You picking them. You great grand picking them. Go reap on your action today. If we make for less alone go before we work very hard for promote the welfare of Sierra Leone, then you say Salona for better. Not to Salon, you do now yourself, now you know the better. You and your generation. And you were very positive on air all the time. You then make a very good foundation for you and your future. Everything we do now, social media or every platform, now sacrifice for we future. We were positive and mean good for Sierra Leone. We're going to be proud for go lead on a country where we fought for very hard for become very progressive and productive. It will be a pride for them in the society where you work for become better. And the history will hold you high for say, people like this, we are there for support the growth of this nation. If we benefit from this glorious nation we did today, and because people stood up for the right thing. And so, I don't want the positive thinkers to be discouraged. I want to let you know, say bad news always go sell faster. When you put bad news, majority of the world believe in bad news. And I make way there on air. You got to be very mindful, because the chance where you get to talk to somebody today for the first time, you may not get the chance for talk to her again. Somebody even for the first time today go they listen me. Tomorrow you don't go get the chance for can't listen again. So when you get opportunity in a platform like this, be very watchful and be mindful. Say you they represent your generation, you they represent your family, they represent your future. And be very diligent and serve your conscience. This negativity, this desperation, but you know, sometimes use the way they listen to we. When I get for be very supportive for stand up. You know, the bad people them, that your motive now for make sure say chaos, confusion, hate, division exist. And that is how you identify them. That is precious time where you get for go listen to things that will not they educate you, will not they benefit you. You get for reconsider. Cut off certain things where you know where not they bring help. Certain messages where not they impact your life. Cut off them. Cut off anything where you know say not progressive, but it bring you to aggression. So I want to all within our media realize say your effort, your sacrifice, your timing, as long as you're doing it genuinely, like how positive we are on this platform, how very much determined we are for Sis Alone, a better place, because we want for retire now, we want to go sit down and enjoy the benefit of the country. Not enough for discourage we. No matter the names, no matter the labeling, be persistent. Successful people are people who are very persistent. We're not a waver. And of course, we will always overcome evil. I always appreciate we follow worship, because the liberation where they get, the satisfaction that they get based on what they can't give them, they make today. You know, that they make informed judgment. And that is why we aim and focus. Now for make sure say the government do the right thing, continue for go and do what thing will make Salon a better place. And so when we see bad people that are around the system, when they foot, when they sabotage, when they undermine, we know they compromise there, we will tell them as it is. Like how plenty of them there within the system, where they don't work now for come to waste and sana the gari, for make the gari sour or difficult for everybody. They want the way very selfish within the system. We go after them and we go read them out. Because Salo in better one, then I will all hand. Now we responsibility for let Salon become a better place, for let life become very conducive and easy for we people. If you're in a position of trust, realize that you're not dead there because you better pass people. You did it because God don't give you chance for serve people, for work for the people. And so you get for do it diligently and with commitment and passion. So then the inspiration where we they see in our social media from the evil people. Be mindful that you know bitter people are very dangerous. They go all out for you know when somebody's so desperate in evil, nothing they change them. But there's one thing, they will always fail. They go stumble and they go always under the feet. Because the Bible don't give you the authority for trample upon serpent, the serpent then. So Evil not go prevail over righteousness and justice. Be on the just part of life and be part of the history. Say, we be enough for less alone better. If we dey see salon is success today now because of we positivity, we meaningful heart for support the right thing. So I just want to encourage people. Be very mindful, be conscious, and be supportive. And Papa government, continue for do internal checks. We still get a lot of saboteurs. We still get a lot of people who think say they get a mission for make the work of the government very challenging and difficult. And you get to be sensitive. Such people not supposed for continue for dinner places where they decide on the future of a country. Until we come back together tomorrow with explosive program for defeat lies. I've been yours truly, Chief Commissioner. And I want to say